Nicole Scott here from Mobile Geeks, and I have nothing on my wrists, and that is because I have yet to decide which smartwatch I'm going to purchase. Now here at IFA 2013 there are two big smartwatches that have been released. Well, actually Sony's SmartWatch 2 was released a couple months ago in Shanghai, which I was there for, and Samsung has announced its Galaxy Gear smartwatch. Now since I wanted to do a comparison of the two, but I physically can't have them on my wrist, I had to go to two different booths and shoot some videos with them. Now I'm a little bit partial, I guess, to the Sony watch because I did have the original version, so I'm used to the interface and how it's used, and I really enjoyed the fact that they did add a minute amount of standalone functionality. So why don't we take a look at Sony's smartwatch just to kind of have an overview of how it works. So here we have Sony's SmartWatch 2. It has a 1.6-inch display, and I am, full disclosure, I am a Sony SmartWatch user. So if we turn this on, you can see that we have a pretty big menu here. We can have the weather apps, select the city. So it is actually paired with the phone, but one of the things that I do like, oh wait, we're not using Gmail on this one. We are using the native email client. So what I do like about the SmartWatch 2 is that if this is not connected via Bluetooth, you can still check, I think, your last 25 emails. So that's actually pretty neat. What I'm waiting for is, again, standalone music functionality, so I don't need to bring my phone into the gym. But you can have Facebook, Twitter. This is the remote control for the camera. Maybe we can give that a whirl. There we go. So we have the camera up there, and then I can go cheese. Oh, actually I can stand in here. Let's try again. Let's delete that. We don't like it. Here I am. Cheese. Awesome. So you never can use it as a remote control for your phone. One of the other things that I do like doing is, let's go back to home and pull up the music application. So here we go. There's the music player up there. I can hit play, and you can see it immediately controls the phone. Now one of the other cool things about this is that, here we go, you can sort it by favorites, so that's actually how many times you've clicked the apps, or alphabetically. So now let's head over and take a look at Samsung's Gear. I mean, I'm kind of leaning towards this one for functionality, or real world functionality for me, just because it is so much thinner. So I'm Nicole Scott, heading over to the Samsung booth to take a look at the Samsung smartwatch. So here we have the Samsung Galaxy Gear. So this is Samsung's smartwatch. Now it has a 1.6-inch display as well, same as the Sony. It is, I'd say, roughly around the same thickness, which is pretty interesting. But the display interface is definitely different. So you can see that it's just a simple swipe to go through. It's not the small icons like we have on the Sony. So you can go through gallery, media controller, voice, pedometer, settings as well, and then apps. So there are 200 apps that are paired with the Galaxy Gear. So you can actually, obviously, camera. That's one of the big features of this device, is that you don't use your smartphone as a remote control like on the Sony. You use the camera itself on here, and actually it's not too bad. So this is a 1.9 megapixel camera, and so you just point and shoot. Oh, this is a video. Sorry about that. So you can take a 10-second video as well. Here we are in the Samsung Smart Lounge. All the exciting things. There we go. And so you can just change that up here to take stills. Now, my problem with this smartwatch is, let me just put it onto my wrist. So personally, my problem with the Galaxy Gear is the size. So when you put it onto your wrist, even though you can make it tighter, if you kind of look at the top, it covers the entire top of my wrist. So I think this is more of a man watch than it is a lady's watch. The Sony smartwatch, when you put it on your wrist, it's definitely not as big, and it actually is able to curve around the top of your wrist. Another one of the cool features of the Gear is that if you just hold this up to your ear, those are 2 microphone slots, so it's just like talking on the phone. One of the other things that I really like about this watch is the way that you do the navigation. So you pull down to go backwards, so that goes through all the apps that I've had open, so it was just a clock, or you pull left to right to go through the different things that are available. So you can even pull up your gallery to look at various photos. I mean, definitely the Gear is a little more advanced in its delivery of software and navigation. So it's clear that Samsung's UI definitely is a lot more advanced, and the Samsung smartwatch definitely has the camera, and there's a lot more going on. After my second look, I definitely have to put Samsung's Galaxy Gear on top. But the thing is that even between the 2 smartwatches, it's not enough for me, right? What I need from a smartwatch, what I think that these guys have almost hit, is they need a little bit of standalone functionality, and that's where I thought that Sony pulled ahead just a little bit. I thought they might have had music, but they definitely don't. So the reality is that if you have a smartwatch, you've accepted the fact that your solo device, your smartphone, isn't enough. Right, so I think that the smartwatch makers need to embrace that moment and say, okay, we're accepting that we need supplementary, applications and a new way to interact with our phone. Maybe we don't want to bring it out. What I want to see is the thin edge of the wedge for the smartphone usage is in the gym. It is with the Nike Fuel Band. It is with the Jawbone. If the smartwatch makers could actually have, say, a little bit of standalone music for the gym, or the pedometer and the health apps and these kinds of things, where you could just leave your phone in the locker and then go into the gym and kind of accept it that way, and then maybe your gym has Wi-Fi. And the dream moment for me that I think is a little too far ahead is some overarching cloud services that you could interact with the smartwatch too. So even though Sony has their second iteration, Samsung has done a brilliant job with Gear, with the phone, with the camera and the nav and all of the apps that both of them have. I still think that if we're going to see mass adoption, that we need to have a little bit of standalone functionality, maybe some onboard memory, or some overarching cloud service or cloud network that we could kind of rein into to still have some functionality while our phone stays in the locker or in our bag, or further away from our immediate person. So I'm Nicole Scott for Mobile Geeks, taking a closer look at smartwatches.